Hello, Kaleidoscope. It is I, Mr. Musumsure, and I am here to read about an art book. It is called When Picasso Meets Mootisse by Nina Leyden. There once was a young pig named Picasso. While the other piglets rolled in the mud and played games, Picasso painted. He painted anything and everything in a most unusual way. Ooh la la. At the same time, there once was a young bull named Mootisse. Mootisse was not like the other bulls. He wasn't interested in bullfighting. Mootisse was happy only when he painted pictures. And he painted big, bold, bright pictures. In time, word of Picasso's talent spread throughout the pig province. Soon, art-loving pigs from all over lined up to buy his creations. At the same time, Mootisse was getting famous in the cattle community. There weren't many households that didn't own a moosterpiece. Picasso and Mootisse were becoming art superstars. But this came with a price. Everybody wanted to see them. Art buyers, art sellers, art students, art historians, and art groupies. It was an art attack. One day, Picasso got fed up and said, "I'm tired of this noisy pig pen." At the same time, Mootisse declared, "I'm sick of this crowded cow town." Leaving a change, they both decided to look for a peaceful place where they could paint without distractions. So each of the two artists looked far and wide for the perfect spot. Picasso found a lovely farm looking toward the east. Mootisse found a handsome farm facing the west. After Picasso moved in, he went to introduce himself to his new neighbors across the road. At the same time, Mootisse went to introduce himself to his new neighbor across the road. This is how Picasso and Mootisse met. And coincidentally, that is how Mootisse met Picasso. At first, Picasso and Mootisse were friendly and welcomed each other as neighbors. But soon things began to change. It started one day when Picasso criticized one of Mootisse's paintings. Then Mootisse made fun of one of Picasso's. Mootisse called Picasso an art hog. Then Picasso called Mootisse a mad cow. Mootisse quipped, "You paint like a 2-year-old." Picasso retorted, "You paint like a wild beast." Mootisse raged, "Your colors look like mud." Picasso spat, "Your paintings look like color by numbers." Then things got really out of hand. It was a modern art mess. Oh my goodness. Picasso stormed off into his house. "That Mootisse does not like my art," he huffed, "but I will show him." Then Mootisse bullied away into his house. "I'll give that Picasso something he can really criticize," he snorted. Then a full-scale feud erupted. But it was a most unusual battle. Armed with ladders and buckets of paint, Mootisse launched the first attack. He started at dawn. By the end of the evening, he had succeeded in transforming the outside of his house into a monster-sized moosterpiece. Not to be outdone, Picasso fired up his paintbrushes and in full view of the enemy, counterattacked. He turned his farm into a huge and outrageous pork of art. The two artists then retreated into their house and pulled down the shades. Picasso certainly didn't want to look out his window and stare at Mootisse, and Mootisse had no desire to give his room a view of Picasso. This presented a problem, and there seemed to be only one solution. Without a word to each other, Picasso and Mootisse each began to build a huge wooden fence down the middle of their road. At first, Picasso and Mootisse seemed satisfied. Both artists went back to painting by themselves. But after a while, Picasso was surprised to find that he missed that bull-headed Mootisse. At the same time, Mootisse found that his studio empty without the presence of pig-headed Picasso. Picasso wondered, that Mootisse isn't such a bad artist. He has some interesting ideas. Mootisse moaned, that Picasso may not paint like me, but he knows what he is doing. However, being naturally pig-headed and bull-headed, neither artist knew how to apologize to the other, so they did what they do best. They let their paintbrushes do the talking. Picasso painted on one side of the fence and Mootisse painted on the other. Each worked until they were exhausted. It was strangely quiet when they were done. Then, curious to see what Mootisse had been doing, Picasso sprinted to the other side. At the same time, Mootisse galloped over to Picasso's side. The silence was broken as the two artists began laughing at their amazing work of art. From that day on, Picasso and Mootisse became great friends. They happily took down the fence and shared their different views. A few months later, a big museum bought the fence. Picasso called his side, when Picasso meets Mootisse. Mootisse called his side, when Mootisse meets Picasso. The critics called it incredible. And that is the end of the story. I hope, my fellow artists, that you enjoyed this book. We will see you tomorrow. Au revoir.